He hates women. Is what I'm getting from this.
Who? I don't hate women. If you have a skill that I really need, I will hire you to do something for me. You are pretty funny. Let's just start. I have my presentation. Once this presentation comes up, I'll start my little timer.
Chris, I'm not in frame, right?
No, you're not.
Oh, thank God.
Actually, wait, move over 6 inches.
6 inches.
Perfect, actually, because of the
Perfect.
angle that you moved at.
Let me bring up my presentation. So we just have something to reference. All right, cool. All right, let's start with our, can you see the bottom of the thing?
Chris is basically
Yes.
getting like a free. No, actually, you already know this stuff.
I did 108 and 168, both of them.
No, this is not tutoring. No.
This is our intake, right? I want to ask you where you currently stand in your finances. Do you feel confident about your finances, or are you in like a rocky place?
I wouldn't say rocky. Well, right now I make 20 the hour, but I
Okay.
don't work a lot of hours.
I see.
But with those paychecks, I don't like blow them. I don't live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I also don't deposit them into my account, so I just have
Okay.
them like chilling. That's why I wanted
Yeah.
to start this because I just have money laying around.
How much would you say you make a month? That's the first number we're gonna need.
About 800 to 900.
Let's say 800 to 900 a month, right? That's pretty good. That's not that bad. And do you pay any rent at all?
Yes, my expenses are actually 1,000 a month.
So right now your expenses exceed your income.
I also get aid from school though.
Do you drive a car?
Yes, I do.
Gas. We're looking at like $100 a month in gas.
300.
300. We're at 1,300 in expenses. What about food?
Food,
How much would you say you spend a month?
200. Just
200?
on food to survive on 200, but like going out is a different thing. That's like
What's your going out? Be realistic with me,
Realistically
because
speaking,
I'm like your doctor. If you lied to me,
I go
it
out
wouldn't
a
help me.
lot. David pays for some of it. Or
Say 100.
100. It's expensive.
We're looking at around 1,600 a month that leaves your bank account.
Rent is less, but like more like 1,300.
1,300.
That's more accurate. Rent is like less than 700 for me.
Then it's not great because you have more expenses
Yeah.
leaving the income.
See,
You always want to think of it as cash going in, cash going out. It's like calories in, calories out. If you want to accumulate your cash, then you need to have this number.
be making
But we already knew that. You didn't need this presentation to do that. Knowing that, what goals are you aiming for your money? What do you want to do with your money in the near future and then in the long term?
well, I feel like since it's just sitting around, I might as well just invest it so it grows on its own
You want to make like just
without having to break my back at Subway.
what I call it is shadow clone. If you ever watched Naruto, you make a clone of yourself and he's working for you.
Yeah,
Or in this
shadow
case, she's working for you. You have two Delsies, right? That's our goal. Are you saving for anything in the short term or not really?
Well, the money I don't use, I technically call it a savings.
It's not really in a
It's
savings.
emergency fund. No, it's not really in a savings. I'm not like growing it in my bank account. It's just
Emergency fund is actually great.
I had one before, and then I had 10,000. Then
Okay.
I totaled my car, so I had to use that.
Oh,
It really set me back. Like I do save a lot of money.
insurance didn't cover. Your long-term goal is to have a shadow clone work for you. Be making money while you sleep. Great. I love that because that's me too. Right now we're looking at around, let's go on the high end. Actually, no, it's better if we go on the low end. You're looking at like a negative 500 a month. Now, what I need to know, I'll definitely cut this out. How much, you don't have to give me the exact number, but estimate of how much cash you have sitting around. Your net worth, basically. How much cash do you have?
Checks are in here. I could count them, but probably like
Just off the top of your head.
2,000.
2,000? Right now, Chris is flexing on you. He's going band for band. Because he's,
I have a basis in my
Yeah.
account of 2,700, and I have earned, or I've grown plus 800, so I'm at about 3,500.
not bad. I think Chris
Well, I
is
started a year ago.
That'd be better.
you're gonna get to where Chris is.
So if you just want something that you could sit on, I recommend investing into the S&P 500 because you're just going to be growing laterally with the economy.
Yeah.
Also, the S&P 500 has stock. That's the ETF accumulation. It has a dividend that you can reinvest, so it's just going to constantly snowball.
What I want is to have a safety net, but at the same time make bigger earnings by risking stuff.
Got you. Let's start with the 4-step process that I have.
Okay.
I like to keep it very simple. Right now, you don't have any debt.
Well, it's called debt, but I pay it off monthly, on time.
As long as your credit card balance is not like exorbitant, above 1,000.
I have a $2,000 limit, and right now I've spent
Oh, we're looking.
So I also need to be educated on that too because I heard that you're not supposed to be using like more than 50% of
Don't
that.
worry, I'm a master of credit cards. I got you. My credit score is in the high 700s.
I haven't had. I just opened my credit card, so I only have like 3 months of history. So I
Oh.
don't think I have a credit score just yet. But I'm pretty sure it'd be fun because or nice or an okay score because I've been spending like 1,000 per month, but I
Yeah.
pay it back.
What would you
Okay,
say your
bye.
credit score is right now?
Well, I paid everything back on time.
I would
so
probably
2
say
weeks
it's-
before it's due,
yeah.
and I'm paying like thousands. So on
You're
time.
probably like low 700s or like right below 700s. I'm gonna say like 690 for like new credit card users. And then, nice, emergency fund. Do you have any right now?
Do I have any right now?
Like, let's say something were to happen tomorrow. Would you be able to live off of your money for, let's say, a month?
Well, that 2,000. I guess I will use it for anything, but
That 2,000, I want you to split into two parts,
Yeah, I see.
1,000, 1,000. Right? One of those thousands is gonna be for you to live off of. This is your emergency fund. You don't touch this money, you don't look at this money, don't spend this money. This one, because you never know what's gonna happen in life, and you always need some stability. And that 1,000 is gonna save your butt. Now we know we only have 1,000 to play with, but the only thing that worries me is that you have 1,100 in debt in your credit card, which means it's due next month. Realistically, honestly, you don't even have 1,000. You actually have like negative 100 because you have
'cause I'm
around.
not supposed to touch that fund. Okay.
You don't see this money anymore. Every time you get a paycheck, I want you to split the paycheck in half. One half goes away, the other half goes to your like living.
Okay.
The one that goes away goes straight here until it reaches a certain number. And that number, I want you to think 2 to 3 months of living without any income. I would say 3,000 at the very least. But right now, 1,000 is a great start.
Now that you put it that way, that's so real. I would have to deposit those into my bank account,
Exactly.
pay my debt, and then have like 900 left.
But right now, I want you to actually tackle your debts. This whole 1,000 straight into your debt.
Okay.
And then once you don't have any more money to live on, because you won't, you need to figure out some way, somehow, to earn that money. This is what I always tell people. As an accountant, in businesses, right, accountants are looked as we try to save money, but I don't think like an accountant. I want you to actually earn more money. Any way you can, I don't care how. If you want to achieve a financial goal, I never tell people to save. I always tell people, figure out ways to earn more. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Going back to that, on figuring out how to earn more, you may ask yourself, how the heck do I do that? Well, one of the ways you're gonna learn today is investing, and the second way is, well, I call it income streams. How many income streams? It's like a video game. How many income streams can you have coming in at once? Right now, you have Subways. So that's numero uno, right? Subways. Do you have any other income streams, would you say? No. When you leave today, your second income stream will be investing. I kind of wrote it in the thing there, but just note, that says investing. That's your second one. I want you to, your homework by the end of this quarter is gonna be to have at least one more income stream. All right, I want you to have the third one. Income stream number 3. I don't know what it is for you because I don't know your skill sets, but something. Basically, I'm telling you to apply yourself. Go beyond what is considered normal, and normal is just having one income stream, right? Go beyond what's considered normal and take yourself and apply yourself to do these two things. Moving past emergency fund and debts, that's pretty straightforward. But I want you to focus on that. Pay off that first. Don't stress about it.
I'm already stressing. When you put it that way, it just made me realize, oh, you're right. Like,
There is urgency to it, but I want you to go at it in a very calm and collected manner. Be like imagine you're in a movie and you're the character. Be the main character. Be like calm and collected. Be the badass that tackles your money problems without any nervousness or without any taboo, right? Money is not taboo. It's very good to talk about, and it's very good to understand how it works and how it affects your life. I want you to emphasize like this quote. It's not about how much you make, because people make $100,000 a year and they still live paycheck to paycheck. But it's how much money you keep and how hard you can make it work for you. And that's what we're gonna do today. How hard can we make your $1,000 work for you? Just to, it's scary, right?
that is a
Most people, like the law in California now is like you retire at 67, and then once you retire, let's say you haven't been saving up your whole life, right? Your savings are kind of small by the time you retire. You only have that much to live off each month. That's what you're making now.
that's what's
Lifestyle inflation. And then this is how many Americans are living like paycheck to paycheck. That means in 2 weeks, if they don't get their paycheck, their bi-weekly, then they're screwed. They're gonna have to basically get evicted from their house, apartment, whatever, and then lose their car, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want you to be that 62%. I want you to be the 38%. Simply put, you do not want to work, like you don't want to be forced to work by the time you retire, right? You just want to work optionally for fun. The first retirement and investing advice I'll give you is I want you to remember these 4 letters. R-O-T-H, Roth. Chris definitely knows what it is. And basically, that sounds like a rich person, right? Roth? Because it is. Rich white person, because it is. And essentially, this is going to be your retirement plan for the rest of your life. This is money that you're going to put in, you don't think about, but it's going to be working its ass off for you 24/7, 365, nonstop. And let me show you some of the effects. Basically, how old are you right now?
I'm 20.
20? You're like right in between 18 and 21. Basically, what this table is going to show you is by the time you retire, let's say you want to retire at 55. In a Roth IRA, the way it works is you put in $7,000 a year. That may seem like a lot, but once you start making real money, you get your actual job, maybe at your firm, 7K is going to be nothing. That's the federal limit that they allow, because if they allowed any more, people would abuse the hell out of this, because this shit is broken. Imagine this as an exploit in a video game, because it's the real life exploit. 7,000 a year, you do that for 55 minus 20, which is like 35 years. And you've put in about 240,000. That's your money that you've put in. This times 35. This number, and that little m means million, is how much it grows to. And the cool part is, when you take out that 2 whatever million, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. And that's the exploit part of this.
Someone can open that.
You
at
can open it
18.
today.
Oh.
It's really simple. As long as you're like with any major bank, like Bank of America, you can even do it with Robinhood, Chase, whatever. You can open up a Roth IRA easy. You just need to call them.
Oh.
Or like do an application online, and then they do it like that. As long as you have an income, which you do. And I want you to emphasize, in just 5 years difference, how much the money grows. If you've taken a math course, there's a difference between linear and exponential growth. This is exponential growth. As time goes on, and as you move further down the graph, so the x-axis is time. As you move further down the x-axis, your growth gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. It doesn't grow at the same rate. As you can see, your 2 million in 5 years, just 5 years, grows to 3.3, and then another 5 years, it grows to 5.6. It's actually insane. So you've made this amount, 2 million, in just like 10 years compared to the 30-something years it took initially, because it's exponential growth. But this is just one of your retirement accounts.
Just one. There's more.
Yeah, because I know if you're going to be successful, you're going to be able to invest more than 7K a year.
Just type this out.
That's why I'm recording it. So I'll also send this to you so you can take notes at your own speed when you're at home. This is the value that I provide to my clients by recording it.
Wow.
Are
What
you
a
going to tell her
perk.
about lockboxes?
About what?
Lockboxes?
That's not part of usually what I tell people. Yeah. But you should tell me something about it, because I
I
don't
think
know
it's
too
called a
much.
lockbox. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Some banks will give you the opportunity to put a couple grand away and then lock it away for 5 years, but it'll have a fixed, really high interest rate. You will be penalized if you try and touch that money.
Do you know what the
So-
interest rate usually is?
I've seen like 10, 12%.
Oh, that's really good. What's
yeah,
up?
but you're not allowed to touch it for that long
Okay.
because the bank is using that specifically just for investments. So you are pinky promising Wells Fargo, Chase, US Bank, hey, you could invest all this money all you want. I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah.
But I want a kickback.
Okay, I see. I'll add 4 minutes to the timer. Don't worry. I want you in your notes right now, just type in one word. Or 2 words. Debt, and then right under that, Roth IRA.
Okay.
Those are the 2 things you need to take away right now. And then once you watch the video back, you can see how I elaborate on that. Okay, now that we've talked about the Roth IRA and I've shown you like kind of how broken it is, that's just one way. Now I'll show you all the ways that I personally do. Okay. Besides, this is not including any businesses that I do. This is just me putting my money to work. I already talked about the Roth. You don't need to worry about traditional because we don't make over 161,000 a year. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, and then this number here is how risky it is. The higher the number, the less risky it is. The lower the number, the more risky it is.
Why is that?
Because the Roth IRA is not risky because when you invest money in there, you usually pick stocks that are very long term and like very diversified.
And traditionally bonds.
Yeah.
Bonds have a always positive return on interest because you are effectively investing in the federal government.
You can go that route, bonds, or
But they're low.
yeah, they're
low risk,
lower.
low reward. They'll have like a interest rate of like 0.3%, but it's never going to make you lose money.
Wait, okay, so under Roth, you
Mhm.
can do bonds and what else?
ETFs, index funds, or stocks. You can just buy like anything under Roth, basically.
An ETF is when a stock is a accumulation of other stocks, like the S&P 500. So it is going to be inherently low risk, moderate reward. A lot of my stocks are ETFs.
So basically, imagine 500 stocks inside a little basket.
Okay.
That's what an ETF is. And it makes it really safe because you're watching 500 stocks. 500 companies aren't going to fail at once. Like,
Okay.
and these are like the biggest companies in the US market.
Yeah, so if tech is low today, then you're still going to be making money because McDonald's is just booming.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So wait, what do you do? Do you
This is what I do. I don't touch bonds because bonds are too low for me. I'm young. I have a higher risk tolerance. That's another word I
So
want you to write
bonds are
down.
like
Really, really safe.
like no
Too
risk,
safe. Basically
but
no
slow
risk.
growth.
Slow-ish. Slow-ish. Yeah.
No,
you-
stop interrupting, Chris. I'm paying.
Okay.
Damn.
I will give
can
you
cut that out.
the average bond return is like maybe 4 to 5%. Right? Does that sound about right?
I've seen threes. But
Threes, yeah.
So
It's pretty damn low.
So there's a thing called a treasury bond, which is going to be a lot higher, but they only issue those during like war times, depending on who becomes president.
ETFs are,
10 to 30%.
but these are like more risky.
Not by much, I would say. Watch this.
Okay.
I'll show you something.
But stocks are very risky.
Yes, individual stocks, one share of Apple, one share of Google, very risky.
Okay.
Even a big company like Google can eat shit. You never know. That's gonna be beep in
Okay.
the video. Watch this. So this is my favorite ETF that I invest in. It's called VU. And I'll just show you its all-time performance, right? So as you can see, VU started in 2010. And basically what VU tracks is the S&P 500. So the 500 basket stocks of the top 500 companies in the US. So however well they're doing, that's how well VU's doing. And as you can see, they've returned 422% over 14 years, which is crazy. In just 1 year, they've returned 38%. So you can see how it just eats the bonds up. Like, I don't even look at bonds. As a young investor, it's not worth it for me because I'm wasting my time basically if I invest into bonds. Because I have time to make mistakes. I have time to like crawl myself back up
Okay.
in case something happens, which I highly doubt anything will happen.
Well, yeah, you're 22.
Yeah, 21, almost 22 though, in like December.
You guys are old. I'm 20.
Okay, but if you invest in an individual stock, which we'll talk about next, but I'll just show you one example. Let's say Apple, like a super strong, fundamentally sound company, right? In just 1 year, it's about the same as the S&P, but check this out. 5 years, like 300% almost, all time. So the all time for the S&P 500, specifically VU, was only like 400-ish%. This one is 26,000%, which is absolutely insane. But if we compared apples to apples, so same time period around 2010, it's around 1,000% return. So double that of the S&P 500. But it's more risky because it's an individual stock. But if you trust Apple, then go all in by all means. I trust Apple quite a bit because I don't see them failing anytime soon. I do see Google failing soon,
Oh.
possibly.
How do you know that?
Vibes.
Just vibes. Literally, it's
like
just
the
vibes.
news, or how do you?
I've been in tech all my
Stop.
life.
Sorry, respectfully.
I've been a huge tech guy all my life, and it's just kind of the vibes right now that Google is starting to not keep up with competition as hard as it should have. So it's not going to fail catastrophically, but it's going to start falling behind, is what I believe. But that's just me yapping, right? Let's go back to this. So we have Roths, right? Very low risk, 4 out of 5. Then we have brokerages. Basically, imagine this as a Roth, but without the tax advantage. And what I mean by tax advantage is when you do pull out your earnings from this, you get taxed. So Roth, you only get taxed once, and the time you get taxed is on the income you make. like your job, right? You work at Subways and they tax your paycheck. That's the one-time tax I'm talking about. So you're already taxed on your money, and then you put it in your Roth, and it's no longer ever taxed again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this, you get taxed twice on that same Subway's income and on your earnings. So when you make a gain and you sell the gain, recognized as Chris talked about earlier, then you get taxed twice. So this is a non-tax advantage account. That's what we use in the tax world.
Okay.
And then this is a tax advantage account up here. That's why I say it's broken as hell.
In a good way or in a bad way?
Great way.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing way. This is the number one thing people will use to become millionaires. This is like the millionaire cheat code.
Okay.
I call it the most boring way to become a millionaire. Literally so boring.
It's
like,
just straightforward.
so
It's
straightforward,
almost
so
like
boring.
guaranteed.
Yeah, almost foolproof, but it's really boring. People don't like the boringness, but that's what I teach. I teach you the guaranteed, basically, way to make $1 million within your lifetime, at least. High yield savings, like there's no risk to it, basically. That's why it's 5 out of 5. However, high yield savings, the return around 4% to the highest I've seen is 6.5%, but very unlikely you'll find 6.5. Expect more 4.5%. And this is where I would put my emergency fund actually, because there's no chance of it going down. Because it's even if the bank goes down, I still have it insured up to $250,000.
Yeah.
Because the bank automatically insures my money through the FDIC, right? Yeah. So no worries there. Unless the U.S. government fails, then we're all screwed. So I hope you're learning a lot right now.
I am.
If you have any
I'm
questions,
like so uneducated
yeah,
on
it's okay.
all of this.
This is why I'm here. This is the one thing I want you to avoid, and kind of what you're doing right now,
Yeah.
keeping your cash under the mattress or just keeping it around. It's not working for you.
Yeah.
It's not growing, and since it's sitting there, you have more inclination to spend it. So you tend to lose it faster. People never talk about that. If your cash is sitting in your checkings, you have more inclination to spend it because you haven't set the boundary of not to touch it. When you put it into these accounts, you set yourself a boundary not to touch them. But that doesn't exist in your checking.
Yeah.
So imagine it like in a mental game.
See, I thought I had like 2K, but now that I have to pay off my debt,
You actually have like,
800.
after you
900.
set aside your emergency fund too, you can set aside 500 for today. Because if you set aside 1,000, then you won't have any money.
Yeah, and I'll just have like 300 to my name.
So yeah, set aside 500.
Okay.
Now, do you understand the 4 different
Yes.
accounts? Just remember the risk, right?
Yes.
And just remember this as emergency fund too.
Okay.
Emergency fund, high risk, high reward, lower risk, but still pretty damn decent reward.
Yeah.
And then no return at all. Like you lose your money because you don't have the boundary set up and it's not working for you. Okay.
worth it.
Yeah, we already went through all of this, but I want you to focus on here. These are the names that you can, the banks you can do it with. There's more, but those are just some of the most popular ones. For ease of use, either go with the bank you're banking with currently, or I would even recommend Robinhood. Robinhood has like the best UI or user interface. Basically, your Google Doc right now, you're using the Google Doc interface to navigate the website. Robinhood.
Move your Neurogen a little bit into frame.
She?
No, the Neurogen. Or
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
This way.
this way.
You're moving in the up. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. So, I would recommend Robinhood or whatever bank you're banking with right now.
Even Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
So I would lean
don't they
more
have a
towards
whole
Robinhood.
scandal?
Yeah, you have a scandal. I mean, Robinhood has a scandal too.
What? What are they?
Almost every single bank has a scandal around
Why
it.
is Wells Fargo disgusting though?
Wells Fargo has one of the more disgusting scandals. They, in terms of like bank tiers, I would list them lower. The best banks would be like Discover. They have a good reputation.
Yeah, I have a Discovered credit card.
Discover has a good reputation, but Wells Fargo's like kind of scummy. I don't know.
Anyways.
Same thing, huh?
If you want to buy a house in California, I recommend joining a credit union just so you have the account open.
Yeah. Are you a school employee by chance? Do you work at the Subways at
No,
school?
no, they paid
Oh.
really low.
Damn.
Yeah.
If you were, there was a school credit union called Federal, or like Schools First Credit Union. I would have told you to join that, but then you're not a school employee, so
Yeah.
womp womp. It's okay.
Womp womp.
Same thing with the brokerage. If you just do everything through Robinhood, I highly recommend. It makes life easy because
Okay.
everything's just one app.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you mean.
That's what I personally do.
Okay. This is what you're using right now.
Robinhood. I've transferred all my investments into Robinhood.
What did you have before?
Bank of America. Bank of America is solid too, but
Has
I
that.
didn't like their user interface as much. Yeah. And then high yield savings. I mean, Discover would be some of the best ones because they're able to offer high rates, high interest on your money because they don't have any physical bank locations. So they save a lot of money on rent, upkeep, and paying physical employees, like to be there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, don't do this, right? Unless you want to like hide income from the IRS. I mean,
One of the things I was doing is because I get
Yeah.
like benefits from the government,
yeah,
and once I had like only 2,000 in my account, and they're like, "Oh, why do you have 2,000?
Yeah.
We can't give you those benefits."
uh,
And because of my FAFSA, like I wouldn't get aid. They saw that. That's why. but
there's
now
yeah, this is
I-
not completely useless, but it's not recommended unless you're
Yeah.
trying to pull some elaborate strategy. But then that would be like white collar crime.
Like now
Yeah.
I have my aid. I'm gonna graduate with it. Let me just start doing it now.
Let me explain to you one more important concept you need to understand. And that's how inflation eats up your money spending power, like year to year. So if you have cash just sitting around, inflation year to year is around 3 to 4%. It's higher now because of the recent events, like the past couple of years. But imagine 3 to 4% of your money every year, like just disappearing, like magic, like bye,
Yeah. It
because of inflation.
it doesn't. It's just sitting around. It's worthless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime you invest in anything, you want to make sure the investment, the return on the investment, is higher than the current rate of inflation. If it's
Okay.
lower than the rate of inflation, you're actually still losing money. But most investments that I recommend to you are way higher than 3 to 4%. I'll show you my personal returns in a bit.
Okay.
They're very crazy. Okay, this is my personal journey. How did I get to where I am today?
Yeah. How
In-
did you
in-
start? How were you educated? Who taught you this? What other Steven?
There was no other Steven.
Oh.
It was Steven teaching Steven. But what inspired me to start was my friend. He had his dad. His dad gave him some money to manage when he was younger, and we didn't come from a rich family. I mean, we're a bunch of like Asian. We have immigrant parents, like just like you. And from there, I opened up my first investment account with Bank of America, and then I just started learning on the internet. Like, you see those memes about like Signal or grind set? That's what I was actually doing, but in like high school, like late high school. I was locked the hell in because I was mad. I was mad. It is good to be mad. I was so mad that I'll add 5 minutes to the timer because we were yapping earlier. I was so mad that I wasn't making money, and other people around me were making like stupid amount of money. I see it everywhere. There's money to be had everywhere. There's like enough pie for everyone. Is what I'm saying. So, when I turned 18, December 27th,
Oh, you
like
remember.
the day after I turned 18, December 27th, 2021, or no, 2020, I got my first job, DoorDash, Instacart. So I did those two things simultaneously, and I saved up $1,000 from working that for about a month or two, and then I went to Bank of America in March, and I was like, I want to open up my Roth. Let me open up my Roth with you guys, and here's $1,000. Here's my income, and then they're like, great. Then I had to pick what to buy. I bought the one I showed you earlier, Vue, because I just did a quick Google search, like, what's the best at the time? I made a good choice. 'Cause, I'll explain to you, like,
It's
why
the first to come
it's
in the
great.
box.
I watched a lot of videos before I came to that decision, like YouTube reviews and stuff.
Okay.
My training arc was basically me putting my head down, and I kept working different jobs. I've had 9 different jobs so far up to now, and what I did every time I worked a job is not only I made sure to save a majority of my paycheck, around 60 to 70% of my paycheck every time would disappear. I wouldn't even see it anymore. I would put all of it into either my Roth or my Robinhood, but mainly my Roth. I didn't really start putting money into my Robinhood, like the traditional investing account, until this year, because I didn't have enough money. So, training arc, that's just me accumulating my money basically. Roth. My number one goal year to year was to max out that Roth contribution limit, which is the federal limit on how much you can put in your Roth. That's their cap because they don't want you to abuse it.
So you've done like the near 7K.
I've maxed it out every time without fail. I usually max it out before the half year, so before June. The earlier I max it out, the more happy I am. And actually this year, I'm gonna max it out January 1st because I have more than 7K just sitting around.
Okay, I'm jealous.
Don't be jealous because you're gonna get up there too.
I better.
I want you to be
Steven.
mad. I want you to be
I'll
mad.
be your best.
Yeah, cameraman.
No, cameraman. No, like I'm gonna be the. You
Yeah.
know, like when.
Shareholder.
When a coach like trains someone and that like,
Student,
it's the best
disciple?
yeah, your best student. Like I'm gonna be.
You become the
I'll
master.
vouch for you.
You become the master. You
You
make
think
more
we
money
really
than me.
do?
Okay, this is where the fun part gets. You start seeing the numbers go up.
funny.
Like if you actually put in the work
Yeah.
and you actually stick to your strategy and your plan and you stay mad and you stay dedicated, then it's literally by law that this shit will go up. Like physics, science, the universe, it will go up. Like you put money in, it's gonna go up. As long as you don't spend it, you don't make any like dumb decision, then it will go up.
I can do that.
And then actually my goal for this year, I made this presentation in March of this year. Achieve 60,000. I'm already past that. So
You inspire me.
basically how income works, when you start making more and more income, your ability to make income grows exponentially. Because there's a saying, it takes money to make money. It's really hard to make $60,000 when you only have $1,000. But it's really easy to make $60,000 if you have, let's say, $30,000 to start with. Would you agree? Yeah. So it takes money to make money. So once you accumulate more and more wealth, it works way harder for you.
Also, if you have just like more money laying around,
Yeah.
you're able to afford to make more riskier decisions because you have less financial strain that you're on. So you could go for the invest everything into Bitcoin and hope that it goes up by 50% again.
Yeah, and if you lose all of it, well, you still have more money sitting
Yeah,
around.
you still have a house.
Wait, did you do Bitcoin?
$300, that's it. It's gone up though. It's gone up to 300, like close to $400. I don't trust crypto too much.
It's dropping right now.
Yeah, it's dropping. It
No,
reached.
like
I
this
don't
minute.
even know how
Oh,
it
yeah.
works.
Don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
It's
okay.
not.
I won't touch that.
I-
I'm not a
I'll
finance
explain
bro.
that to you next week.
Yeah. If you want to
For
ask Chris
free?
about it,
Sure.
I want you
Maybe
to.
he wants do that.
I want you to imagine making money like a snowball and investing like a snowball. Chris mentioned snowball example earlier, but when a snowball rolls down a hill, it accumulates more and more snow exponentially. It's like a pizza. When you increase a pizza size by 1 inch, your amount of pizza increases like way more than just what you think is just 1 inch.
Power squared.
Same thing with money. It's called compounding interest. So imagine the slope of the hill as time, and then the ball as it's growing like exponentially bigger, right? That's the power, and people call it the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding interest. It's basically exponential growth. I spelled interest wrong, but yes, just to know that the more money you have, and the faster it'll grow for you. So that's your goal. You want to achieve like, at least, I would say, once you hit your first 100K into your investments, you're just gonna see that shit like skyrocket. This is a very old graph. This 30,000 number should now be 60,000. But this is like the growth of my investments over time. You can see the exponential curve start to go up, like instead of linear. If it was linear, it would have just kept going like that.
Yeah.
But even in the short 3 years that I've had investing, you can already see the exponential power going up. And the reason I'm telling you this today, time in the market matters. You need to get in as early as possible in your lifetime because every day, every month, every year matters.
Time in the
Or
market
isn't that
beats
potential
timing
return?
market.
Yeah. If you heard what Chris has said, Chris said time in the market beats timing the market. So if you heard people try to like buy low, sell high, right? You can do that, but what matters more is just getting in, right? Time in the market beats timing the market. So you don't need to like wait till there's a low. Just put your money in, and then something called dollar cost averaging will eventually figure it out. You'll get about the same amount of return.
I want to buy Tesla at some point, but I'm waiting until it's under $200. I'm waiting until someone dies in the cyber taxis, so
Yeah.
I'll get a text notification saying, "Hey, Tesla's at under $200,"
Like a
and then
like a sale from Nike.
It'll-
Isn't up to date.
Basically,
they'll give you financial ranges on like, "Hey, we recommend that you buy this because it's underneath the floor that you were set."
on Robinhood, you can set each stock. Notify me when it drops below this, or notify me when it goes above this.
I'm waiting until Starbucks is over 100.
Why would you wait for that when it's over?
He might want to sell, or he might want to buy more, or et cetera, et cetera.
My
Yeah.
basis in Starbucks is 95. I want to make $5 per share profit. Then I could invest it into
Yeah.
something else.
You would sell that?
Sell it at 100.
So many concepts.
Just last year, this was about how much I was taking home every month, like, and
And you
positive.
did nothing. Well, you were like on your laptop.
I was working hard, and then I just made sure to not live above my means.
I-
Yeah, that's why I drive a Honda.
Like
It's
shit
okay.
on you.
It's not a shit. I
think
actually
so
take it as a
smart.
compliment. It's people say, ask me why do I drive a Honda. I'm like, it's a great question.
I think it's
2016.
smarter. It's
That's good.
For
Yeah.
now, humble start.
It only has 53,000 miles.
You
Oh
insulted my truck.
No, I didn't. You know how many miles I have? I've like ran it up 20K within
Okay.
over a little
Yeah.
just over a year. I
Samesies.
commute that
Yeah.
much.
My time is up, but I want you to take a look at these 6 questions, and then any questions of your own, ask me right now for like a minute or two, and then I'll answer you. And then you can talk to Chris, and he probably knows quite a bit too.
They called me dumb earlier.
What I really love is that you especially is you're very willing to learn. Not a lot of people are willing to learn this because they're scared of it. Thanks, Chris. They're really scared of because they don't want to face the monster that is their dad or the people just don't like change. They don't like facing the unknown.
I'm tired of just being financially illiterate, basically.
Well, now I would say you're at
Bad,
a
like, financially.
you or me, you're at a level now where you're me just a year ago. Almost as much as me just a year ago.
Oh my gosh. Would you recommend like watching any YouTube videos to,
Um,
or how did you learn? Books or?
I started with YouTube videos, but then after that, I just learned by seeing what works like on my own. Put money in, and then I see what happens, or I just follow the news. But I don't follow like the global news. I kind of follow. I use YouTube videos to watch the news.
Okay.
Basically, in the world of tech, when a product releases, that's news for me. I just watch a product review. Basically, every time a product drops, new laptop by ASUS or new GPU by NVIDIA, I'll watch the video on it. One, because I like watching tech stuff, and two, because it gives me some insight on the market.
Well, since your time is up, I want like to open a Robinhood
Oh yeah, for sure.
or later
Referral link.
today.
I think
And then I'll just browse.
Chris will send you a referral link.
Get a
You also
kickback.
send me one too.
Sure.
But do you want to get a kickback?
Both, please. If it's for free.
It's only for one.
It's only for one.
Only for one butt.
Rock paper scissors.
Wait, what is this? What's going on?
Robinhood gives us a referral link that we could use. So if we get someone to sign up, we will get $3 worth of Amazon stock.
I guess rock, paper, scissors, but then I expect whoever sends it to me to explain more. It's like in a little text summary. This is how you do it, blah, 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 and stuff. Okay.
Also, now I'm plus 800.
I don't know if this is the right referral link. This might be for the Robinhood credit card. Did I send the right one?
It should be in account information.
Honestly, this small amount of
Oh, did they stop the thing?
Possibly.
They had it
Supposed to
last
look
year.
like this?
just click sign up. Don't worry about the credit card. The credit card is for people who use Robinhood Gold.
Well, if you have the link.
That was the only link that I could
No,
share.
if she does it,
Oh.
if she does it without the link, then you won't get a kickback, or neither of us will.
But she's using my link.
Should I make like a really good password?
Yes. You for financial accounts, you want like a pretty strong password.
Okay, let me
It
just.
will log you out after 3 months. It's a privacy.
That too. You want a really strong password, one, and then you also want 2-factor, 100%. Make sure your recovery email for that account and you have access to 100%, because you need to be able to access this account.
And what I recommend is there's going to be a tab in the investments. I would tick reinvestment dividends. You just like constantly get a snowball.
Yeah. Oh, I just broke 17,000 in my traditional today. I think this is the first time I broke 17. Huge. Oh yeah, let me show you some of my return. This is off the timer, by the way. I don't care. I'm just hanging out with you
We're
now.
just getting
Just 15.
I'll gladly sell you that.
Absolutely.
It's like-
Don't worry about it.
It's okay. I'm pretty smart. I think I can do this.
You are pretty smart. Imagine this. You just spent $15 right now. Just think in your mind, how the fuck can I make $15 today to make it back?
Yeah.
I have very much in the past 4 or 5 months. And it's
See,
I kinda
wanna,
like it.
I want to gain
Yeah.
skills useful to me. Like I
Yeah.
want to solve.
I kept doing stuff for people for free. And I read a
That's
book.
why
No,
Toast
I
is so
read
good for that.
I read a book about people pleasing. And that's essentially what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, first of all, I'm too good at this to be doing this for free. So then, based off your recommendation, I started charging people.
You're welcome. You owe me money. It was my idea. Just kidding.
Just know you can reach out to me anytime, and I'll answer your questions.
Thank you.
Since you're one of my longtime customers already.
Premier client.
Premier.
Period. I'm a loyal client.
Yeah.
I should pay for a membership. $15 on anything.
I do have a subscription service, but it is
50
no, it literally is $50. It's $50 for
So I can go like I can like set like a Zoom like anytime.
literally anytime,
No.
like right now, and then I'll like literally guide you. You can be like, what should I do today? I'll be like, let me see.
I'll consider that.
Here's my all-time return. Oh, it just dropped below 17.
What's your basis?
Well, just depends. Well, my basis,
Basis.
you just take that number, subtract that number.
No, you could also do this.
13,000.
What you can do, Chris, is send me like terminology.
So I'm not, like-
look it up.
I loaned you a book for like 6 months.
It was just generic advice though.
You can't see the base on my Roth because I transferred it over. So it looks stupid. It looks like there's just a flat line. Just know I'm up about 40% on my Roth.
I'm up 30 something.
Hell yeah.
I beat the S&P 500 for like 2 weeks.
And we're beating its ass.
I'm up about 30%.
That's really solid.
I would recommend next time they're gonna open up the study rooms. One of us can like constantly rent a room up there. You're getting overexposed from the sun.
It doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah, you're
B-roll.
getting- I'm just saying you're getting a lot of overbloom and you're getting whitewashed.
Next time I should sit over there. Have the camera pointing this way.
Yes, but also you would have to worry about everyone back there.
I see.
Recommend neutral lighting for this type of stuff because when you review the footage, you're gonna look very gray.
Posted there.
But also you could probably re-level it in.
Editing. Post.
Who edits your videos yourself?
Me. I edit all my video.
I'm
not
Good.
How many filters do you use? Or launchers?
I just use like a template for
Okay.
now.
I
Okay,
used
how
to
many
edit, by the way.
You probably see like all my copy editing.
I see these choppy intros.
I'm not very good yet. It's only
Just
been a
to
week.
like put this out there, just fun fact.
Uh-huh.
I used to when I was a 13-year-old, I would edit. I was a fan of a person,
Mhm.
and I built my account to 5,000 followers just based on my edits, following like 100 people.
There you go.
Period. That's a skill that I never.
You should have continued that.
Continued.
If you continue that, it would have been worth a lot today.
It takes a lot of time to edit. It's so time consuming. Social security number, is that normal?
Yes. Any financial like account you open, you probably need your social. By the end of today, you guys will see like my product launch video and then also like my post.
You know how I make money on the side?
How?
I take my friend. I bring her from Amani to here like every Monday.
Oh, that she pays you gas or third income stream right there, or second income stream right there.
But then I go spend it coffee and a
Okay,
meal.
you have about
6:10.
half hours worth of how we had it set up, and then I've made it just like you,
Yeah.
and then now I'm just doing like a 0.5.
Thank you, Chris.
You're gonna have a lot more headroom, but also you're gonna get. I could barely see that.
No, it's okay.
I'm just telling you the range.
Continue.
See, Chris, you just made $10 right now.
Did I just put none? I guess I'll put none. So
The footage can stop right now.
employed.